Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Monday, January 20th, 2025. What do we have in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two card we are starting our day off with today. Yep, that tracks. Ow. Okay, we've got here our 3 of Swords in combination with our 5 of Swords in its upright. All right, listen, I'm going to just tell you guys right now, hurt feelings, right? We're going to talk a little bit right now about hurt feelings, right? We are navigating, if you are feeling crabby right now, if you are feeling emotionally sore, okay? This is literally this is the visual, these are the card representations of everything I've been seeing that's been happening right now coming out of this Cancer full moon. So I want to just describe to you what this looks like from an energetic perspective, because everything is productive so long as you don't navigate how emotions make you feel, but moving from a place of intentionality, right? Because so here's the best way I can describe what I've been seeing. I want you to imagine, okay? I want you to imagine that like full moon, in that new moon in Capricorn energy, the double void moon was like this pullback, right? It was like all the emotions that pull away. And what happens when the emotions pull away? When the emotions pull away, we sometimes can see things with like profound clarity. It was like all liminal space. It was like drawing back of the curtain, if you will, that occurred, right? And what happens when you pull back a curtain and when you let go of it? Like, that swing, like, so like that swing that happens. So like, or almost like a big wave energy. What happens before there's a big wave? There's a lot of clarity. You can see a lot of stuff. And then immediately coming out of that, we had the full moon in Cancer. So here's a pullback, right? I kept on describing it. It's like yucca-sized wave. It's like whoosh, all of these emotions based upon what you could see clearly from the full moon, the new moon prior. So it's like, and what do I keep saying? It's really important not to get carried away with the emotions right now, because now, and this is what's happening, is we've got, I wish I could say that this next new moon is going to clear this all away, but it's not. Because what happens when there's a big wave, right? When there's a big wave, the wave pulls back, right? And goes back to the normal space it should be. And then what's left in the wake of it, right? The detritus, like what's washed up on the beach of the self. It's like all those fish. It's a Pisces new moon, right? So it's a Pisces new moon. So there's like all this like stuff. And so it's like, and that's why I kept telling you guys, it's okay to move in the direction of the emotion so long as you ask what it is that the emotions desire. Not just the feeling, but the intention behind the feeling. Because again, everything I keep seeing, especially, and it's still going on to a certain extent, and that's the thing I'm trying to like give you guys some heads up on. It's still happening here in relationality to the fact that this is also a really watery moon. Everybody's feeling emotionally sensitive right now, right? Everybody's in their feels, like in a profound way, right? Recognizing and honoring how we feel, not allowing it to move us off of our intention, right? That's hard. Like that's some heavy stuff, because I keep saying that this is a lot of this energy, right? The 3 of Swords, the 3 of Swords with the 5 of Swords. What do I do with all this stuff, right? What do I do with all this stuff? So if you feel like you're going through that right now, like welcome to the vibe. Center card in our 5-card spread for today. Welcome to Aquarius season. You get creative. What do you get? You get creative with the surplus of stuff, right? It's like, what do you get energetically creative with it, right? And so, and I like to see this here because and that's also the thing and so there's a little bit of dual path work I see is happening here for everybody, right? Because I see on one side energy that is working through a lot of that, like a lot of that emotional stuff, but trying to do something that feels energetically productive and corrective for it. But it's far too easy, right? It's far too easy if you're not working in the context of the higher self to navigate from a state of hurt feelings. And I'm going to tell you right now, I want you to cut that out. Remember, hurt feelings is not a coordinate. Hurt feelings will often lead you energetically astray. It'll move you in the direction counter-oppositional to the one that you desire, right? Because the hurt feelings often are those moments, like when the hurt feelings sometimes feel like that, they're looking for something, but they can't tell you what it is that they want, right? Like, and that's why we always have to kind of bring like into that headspace here. And that's what the one thing I appreciate is like some of that Aquarian energy, all that air energy, like bringing a little bit of like rationale, right? So this is either having to navigate spaces of having to like process something in a way that it allows for it to become constructive. But at the same time, it may also be talking a lot about having to set very strong energetic boundaries around those who may not be being energetically rational about their emotions. Continuing to get clarification, fourth and fifth card in our 5-card spread for today. We have here, I told you, King of Wands in its reversal in combination with the Hierophant in its reversal. So this is like, I told you, it's messy. It's messy, messy energy, right? And this is why I see even now, I'm going to say it again, these partnerships. The partnerships that are coming together in the middle of this mess. That's warrior energy, right? Because this is the energy in separation that that observes, right? And I told you what's happening with a lot of the Aries energy. It's a mess versus I am a mess, right? It's a mess versus I am a mess, or embracing one's own messiness, right? Because this is not the energy in separation that says, oh, I just need to stop emotionally feeling in order to go forward. That's disassociating. That's disassociating. Right? This is the energy that recognizes that healing does not mean you stop caring about something. That's wild. That's disassociating. Right? We heal because we recognize that we care about something, and we find a creative way to carry it in a way that feels like it moves towards our intentions. Because everything I keep seeing right now that's happening with some of this energy right now, and it's a real humdinger, because like it is effectively navigating what the emotions that get frustrated about things not being the way that they desire them to be. And the higher self that says, sometimes you have to recognize that those emotions, right? Like those emotions want things in the immediacy of what they have experienced or what they have perceived. Like a lot of that work in the space of the energetic memory, right? And this is why for so much of this energy right now in separation, moving forward towards one another feels like shadow work, because this is the energy that says that space, I just keep on saying that is the affirmation of the energy that recognizes the difference between something that they care about that energetically hurt versus where they're putting their energy and intention, and what is the thing that's helping that energy. And this is where I keep on hearing this message that Scorpio is helping the energy in separation right now. Why is Scorpio helping the energy in separation right now? Because Scorpio keeps on tapping the emotions and saying the most important thing. Has something changed? Has something changed? The amplification of something does not indicate a change, but it sometimes makes it hard to see with clarity. So again, I don't know. It's interesting the fact that it keeps on saying it's specifically Scorpio that is helping here. I want to go investigate where Scorpio is sitting, but I have a thing. I think it has a bit to do with the fact that we see that Pluto moved into Aquarius, which says to me that that Scorpio is sitting next to Aquarius right now, which is why typically Scorpio has not been this close to Aquarius. Scorpio is usually sitting next to Capricorn. So it's because Pluto is sitting next to Aquarius right now that it's working in that space of being able to assess not just how one feels, but whether something has changed. And there's something about this that like Aquarius and Scorpio really like sitting together because it's all about analysis. It's all about analysis. So like Scorpio and Aquarius are like best buddies because it's like it's bringing out the analysis of something, continuing to get clarification. And this is what's helping the energy right now in separation that can tell the difference between the emotion that calls one back versus the emotion that pushes one forward in the direction that one desires to go. While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, I just keep seeing that for a lot of this energy coming into divine union, this is the energy that I keep on getting this I keep on getting this, this is why it's Capricorn energy that I keep saying is coming into divine union, because this is the energy that keeps on saying, it doesn't matter if you think something is sacred because we built it brick by brick. And when we build something brick by brick, this is the energy that says, I don't care what you think about something. We know it to be energetically true. And so this is a lot of that energy that keeps on coming through in that way, because this is the energy that feels a lot of, like protectiveness right now coming into divine union, because a lot of that protectiveness is coming into the space of feeling the sense of not being energetically triggered the way that they used to, which is amplifying the fact that they see how far they have come. More of that maturation, right? While for masculine and feminine deep within divine union right now, a lot of this energy deep within divine union is getting creative. It's like, this is really embracing the Aquarius energy, like full tilt, because there's a level or degree of adaptability here. Like I keep on seeing that there's like a level ability to adapt that almost feels somewhat scorpionic right now, because this is the energy that feels like that sense of adaptability that is a strength. This is what we keep seeing. It's like because Mars is in its retrograde, everyone's finding courage in new ways. It's like adaptable courage. Continuing to get clarification between our 3 of Swords in its upright in combination with our 5 of Swords in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our 4 of Cups. It's creative. It's creative. It's adaptable. And again, the thing about it is it's messy. Being creative is messy. And I feel like a lot of that here, how do I put this best? I got to stress this though. This is really kind of beautiful. I like this combination of cards. I just want to show it to you because we've got a 3, 4, 5 happening. Right? So there's 3, 4, 5. So what does that indicate? Finding energetic order even through a mess, right? So there's a lot of this work here that is building into, and this is why I see even now for this energy and separation, man, I'm just telling you. I feel like for a lot of that energy, it almost feels like insights being recognized or identified. It's more of that work of navigating the hard truths, right? But what's beautiful is like when we come through that pathwork of understanding of the self, this is why I keep seeing that there's something about some of the energy and separation, not trying to move away from pain, not trying to disassociate, but carrying those lessons forward, saying, of course I hold pain on something. It was important, right? I keep on hearing a lot of the energy and separation saying, I don't need to release my pain. My pain is sacred because it indicates something that was energetically important. I told you there's a lot of energy right now in separation that's moving pain into wisdom. And that's a messy process. It's messy. But But that's why I feel like there's something really transformational about that, which is why I keep seeing, like, it's interesting because I keep on getting a lot of indications of Scorpio in this reading, even though I haven't seen the cards effectively indicating it, because this is the energy that through that process of transformation is finding new ways to navigate their own fear or their own uncertainty, right? And so everything about that here, like there's breakthrough energy, like it's cloud break energy, even in the midst of a mess, right? So there's something, it's like, it's very bittersweet right now for some energy and separation. But I just keep seeing again, something about these partnerships is the recognition point of, I almost see energy having personal breakthroughs at the same time of coming into new energetic connections, right? And a lot of that here, it's heavy, but it's also, it also feels like I'm getting some kind of message here of what feels almost like divine timing, right? And what do we talk about when we talk about divine timing? We talk about the synchronized occurrence of something that we are experiencing within that manifests at the same moment without, right? Continuing to get clarification between our 5 of swords in its upright in combination with our King of Swords in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Bum, bum, bum. Clarification. Ooh, 2 cards coming out. Clarification. Woo! 2 cards coming out, and they're double 10 cards. 10 of Wands in its reversal, in combination with our 10 of Cups in its upright. Man, everything. This is why I keep getting this message for the energy and separation that says the reason that these partnerships that are coming together right now are indomitable is because this is the energy that says this courage you're finding, recognize I did not find this courage outside of the self. I made it with my own 2 hands. Like, it's the same message that's been coming through with this Mars retrograde. Finding the courage by being the energy, being like, when courage couldn't be found, I had to make it with my own 2 hands. This is the gift that the counterparts are bringing towards one another, right? Feminine, again, healing those experiences, working in that place of healthy compassion with boundaries and standards, right? Redefining compassion. Masculine, coming into that ability of being their authentic self, embracing their own mess, right? This is heavy work right now. While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, I just keep on seeing this is the energy that says, bless this mess. Why is the energy saying, bless this mess? Because this is the energy that looks at their mess as sacred, because it is the messiness of adaptability that's allowed them to continue to build forth in that way. And so this is the energy that has learned not to take things so hard. Like, this is the energy that has learned, like, not to build into that context of perfection, recognizing that perfection is always an ideal because it's something that we reach for, right? And that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it is a failure to reach for it, but you have to have compassion as you try to reach for it, because you always recognize that it's always going to be a little bit out of your reach, right? So that ability of doing so, right? Like, this is how I see, like, a lot of that energy, building into that sense of the ideal of partnership. But the ability to see it is the gift of the partners, right? Like, that's a lot of that energy that says that ability of doing so. It feels like, this is the energy that says it feels like it's in reach because they recognize that they've already come so far that they can look back on the past and realize that it perpetually feels like they are a work in progress, but they're able to see how far they have come, right? While for masculine and feminine energy deep within divine union right now, this is more of that make it work type of energy, right? And I told you, we've been getting a lot of this message that's been coming through as we started to move towards Aquarius season, which is, again, perfect is not a place. perfect is what you do with it, right? Perfect is not a place. Perfect is not a destination. Perfect is what you make of something, right? So I just keep on seeing that a lot of that energy building into that context, continuing to get clarification between our King of Swords and its upright and our King of Wands and its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Whoop. Oh, these are too many cards to come out. Okay, we're going to take this one because this is the one that came out first. We've got here our Knight of Wands. It's giving a lot of, like, it's so adaptable right now. It's so, like, I feel like there's a lot of energy. I can almost feel like a lot of energy right now, like something that they're usually like, whatever. They're like, I don't care. Like, but I thought you said, no, don't worry about it. Like, you go ahead. Like, I need to stress that there's, okay. So there's, okay, so we got to talk about something that's happening here that's really important and significant, because for a lot of the energy, this is really intriguing. Okay, so what's happening right now is, for energy that is coming into divine union, there's something really important about holding on to a lot of that Capricorn energy and saying this is energetically sacred. And there's a lot of this work that is like deep within divine union, that is coming into that space of not holding something so energetically sacred. But that in itself, I need to stress this, that in itself is a sacred act. Why do we see that that's occurring? Because this is the energy that is working on, like I told you, vulnerability, right? And when we are building in that context of vulnerability, when we're coming into that space of like, and we have to talk about this because everything has a different lesson attached to it. This makes so much sense with the progression into the new moon in Pisces. You know, it's not the fact that when you move into a space, you hold on to something so tightly, because when you hold on to something so tightly, you cannot adapt for situations, right? Whenever we hold on to something tightly, we're not utilizing our powers of perception, right? So there's something very important that we see that's happening for a lot of the energy within divine union, which is, you know, coming into that context. And this is a lot of that Pisces energy, right? Which is like, it's almost like coming into that space of understanding the complexity of necessity is such that you can find adaptability that does not move you off of your own intentionality, because it allows you to kind of be able to refine upon how one feels to navigate different situations. So I just see that there's a lot of this energy right now doing a lot of that work, trying to articulate upon a unique feeling, right? A unique circumstance, a unique situation. Welcome to Aquarius in Pluto. I've never felt this way before, right? Like there's a lot of that type of energy here, right? And so I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy right now deep within divine union, trying to find the words, or trying to find a way to communicate upon something that is hard to articulate. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, I just keep seeing that a lot of this energy coming into divine union right now is, how do I explain this? This is that energy that's doing the exact opposite. And why are they doing the exact opposite? Because before you can like before you can freestyle something, you have to be good at it. You can't just, you have to, like, I keep on hearing, you have to learn the fundamentals before you can freestyle. You have to learn the fundamentals before you can energetically freestyle, right? Because I just keep on seeing that there's something about that energy coming into divine union that is recognizing and gravitating upon the fundamentals right now, right? So that's why I see even now there's a little bit of that disparity point in terms of how this energy is hitting for the energy coming into divine union, because this is the energy that's like almost in that space of saying like we walk so that we can run. Like you can't skip, you don't skip ahead to a certain extent, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that is in separation, a lot of this energy in separation right now, this is the energy that feels like they're crawling. Why does this energy feel like they're crawling? Because this is the energy that feels like they're crawling because like everything we just talked about, like that like, you know, like that emotion, the emotion of like the full moon in Cancer, like almost like brings you to your knees. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, because it's helping one navigate the enormity. There's some energy in separation that did not realize they were disassociating. There's some energy in separation that did not realize that they were disassociating. And there's something about the full moon in Cancer that helped the energy come back into the space of actively energetically feeling again. And it's like a lot of that energy recognizing, I told you, healing is hard, because healing does not mean, oh, it's good, I stopped feeling, I'm better now. This is the energy that goes, oh no, I'm healing, I'm feeling again. Like I'm feeling again. Oh. And so there's a lot of energy right now in separation that is like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? Warrior energy, I told you, finding something energetically productive as they continue forward, continuing to get clarification between our King of Wands energy and its reversal, our Hierophant in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. Clarification. Healing. It's fun, right? Ace of Cups. It's so much fun to heal. And this is what we love. And this is why I told you right now, if there's anybody who's been, and this is why, you remember what I was saying to you a few days ago? You remember what I was saying to you a few days ago? Like that little voice in your head that goes, do it, it'll be good for your healing journey. No, it's not. Remember? Being wary of, especially during this full moon in Cancer energy, be wary of the emotional indulgence, right? The thing that feels emotionally indulgent is not always the thing that feels best for your healing, right? There's something really important about that here, because everything that we see is remembering that what are the emotions? What does the ego want to do? What does the ego try to say is healing? The ego tries to say it'll be a release. You can take that load off of your shoulders. You could just give it to someone else. There you go. Don't you feel better now? Right? And you do for a minute. Right? No, that's not healing. That's not healing. Being able to heal is not taking an emotional burden and throwing it on someone else's shoulders. It's finding the internal strength of the self to move forward and carry the weight of wisdom every step of the way. So this is the energy that is feeling that space of being able to feel their emotions again. And what is the energy doing under that weight? They're straightening up. They're recognizing it, and they're saying that feeling is like, I almost see the energy appreciating the gift of feeling as a sign that they're moving on that healing journey, because this is the energy that says, if I feel it, it's because it was significant and important. And it means that even in the act of being able to feel again, I know I'm in the right direction, because this is the energy that says, I could not feel before. Right? This is the energy that is honoring the feeling of the emotions, but carrying them forward with them, not being guided by them, right? Because the emotions often, they just want to release, but they don't have an energetic direction. So there's a lot, I told you right now, a lot of this energy doing that work, warrior energy. Because this is the energy that says, I am able to feel the weight of my emotions and not move me off of my own intentions. While for masculine and feminine energy right now that are coming into divine union, we just see that a lot of this energy coming into divine union right now, this is why I hear this energy saying they're being extra sensitive about partnership, right? because a lot of that energy that is working in that space of being extra sensitive about partnership, I told you, this is Capricorn energy. And so what happens with Capricorn energy, if Capricorn energy holds something sacred and another person belittles it, it's like, right, like a lot of that work that happens here, this is a lot of that energy that builds in that context of saying that that sense of energetic preciousness is such that I keep on seeing that there's a lot of this energy right now that is moving with a lot of that conviction point, because this is the energy that is learned through that maturation process, that what they choose is for themselves. It doesn't matter what others think of it, right? There's a lot of that energy that feels the release of navigating from a place. This is literally the energy. I see some energy right now coming into divine union that when they say we don't care, like that's why it feels like an act of love, because this is the energy that says we don't care, because they're saying that they're not doing something for the sake of those around them. They're doing it for the self. And I'm going to tell you, even now, when Capricorns come into a space that they say we don't care, it is like amazing, because that is the energy that says that this is something I have created that's energetically sacred, right? So there's a lot of that work here that I keep on hearing, that's the energy that says this is ours. Like this is ours. Right? And so this is the energy that becomes very, I want to say, it's beautiful in that way, but it's very protective. I told you that's why there's so much of that sacred, because this is the energy that looks at their partnership like it is a relic, right? While for masculine and feminine energy that's deep within divine union, this is the energy that is moving oppositional in that way right now, because this is the energy that comes into that space where they're being energetically adaptable, right? When they're like, it's like when you're like, I almost feel like it's interesting too. I want to see where Virgo is right now, because it almost feels to me like a lot of the energy right now deep within divine union is very much in Virgo energy, because there's something about it right now where I almost see the energy saying that when you're in that space, the ability to see the self is all one needs. So I feel like a lot of this right now is working in this space of not being energetically distracted, but trusting themselves in the process. Has a lot to do with that sense of like finding courage and confidence, because the fact that Mars is not around. So a lot of this work here is like being kind to themselves on that journey, right? Like trusting themselves in that process. It's not easy, but it's never easy. But this is the energy that supports each other on the way as they navigate a lot of that, like that uncertainty or that feeling of something that is new. Like I feel like a lot of this energy deep within divine union is going, this is new. Wow. Like this is new. Continuing to get clarification between our 4 of Cups and its upright, our 10 of Cups and its upright, and our 10 of Wands in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with the Page of Cups. It's so watery right now. This is all that Pisces energy. Like there's so much of it here. I'm going to tell you, and like the one thing I want to kind of remind you guys about right now is this new moon, you know, it feels, it's like it's a messy new moon. That's the best way I can describe it right now. Because it's like it's navigating something and not knowing, like not knowing what to do with it. Like it's literally like there's a lot of this, like I just keep seeing across the frequencies, navigating something that is absolutely like navigating the novelty is what I keep getting. Like navigating the novelty. So something like, the thing is, I'll put it this way, when we have experience upon things, it becomes easy to be like, okay, I know what to do with this, right? And again, a lot of that, like Pluto in Capricorn was great like that, because you're like, okay, there's a box for this, there's a box for this, there's a box for this, there's a box for this. Like, you know, Pluto and Pisces, I mean, you know, Pluto coming into Aquarius, it has to do with navigating energetic novelty in such a way, because it's the combination of feeling something in such a way that you don't have the experience to navigate it. Now, and I see even now that like for a lot of the energy and separation, this is why I keep seeing that there's something so profound that's happening in some of these partnerships that are coming together right now. Because these are the energies that like when they come to each other and they say it's complicated, they don't mean, I can hear the energy saying, make no mistake, I don't mean what I want with you is complicated. I can see the energy almost saying, I know what I want. What I want is very easy. All of that was energetically complicated. I'm trying to move away from complication. Like this is the energy going, I'm trying to move away from the complication. Right? But even in that space, even in that space, like that is why, what does it feel like when someone comes towards you and they've done their healing? What is the gift you receive? You make it easy, right? You make it easy to understand what you want. You make it easy to communicate the feelings, right? And if these are the energies that are finding each other in those spaces and they say, how do you make it so easy? They go, oh, it's not. I'm a mess. Like this is the energy going, no, I'm a mess. My healing journey is trying to make sure that the mess is not something that I spread. Like honestly, that's healing. You want to know what healing is? Welcome to real healing. The healing is just taking the mess and not creating more of it. Like this is the energy that goes, this is the healing journey, is not creating more mess. This is the energy going mess free, right? Like no. And there's like, and I feel like there's also some of this energy right now. Like, and this is what I meant about the fact that we were going through a bit of that full moon in Cancer, which was like that inclination of someone being like, make it messy for your healing. No, make it messy for your healing. It'll be so great. No, do it for, like, that's the ego, right? The ego likes to make messes and say, it was for my healing, right? Like, that's not, like that divesting, if you will, right? The energetic release, right? Like having to go through with some of that. So I feel like a lot of this here, there's a lot of that work that we energetically see as occurring. Now, for a lot of this energy coming into divine union, a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now has potentially, I feel like they've had to navigate some situations or circumstances wherein trying to move into what feels like energetically best, also experiencing a lot of the volatility around them. But this is why, again, a lot of that energy navigates in that space of understanding and clarification of the self that brings with it deeper understanding. A lot of that energy in Capricorn that I keep seeing coming into divine union right now, amplified and articulated upon, like, do you see all this bittersweetness here? Like all of this work that we see that is happening in being able to look at the past version of self and move towards the present. Like this is some like deep maturation and growth process that's happening right now for a lot of the energy coming into divine union, right? And this is why we see that a lot of that energy holds something sacred, because I keep on hearing them say, it's messy, but it's ours. That's the identification of something being sacred, right? It's not in the fact of something being perfect that it is sacred. It's when we take it in as ourself. It's when we hold that sense of preciousness to it. Right? And that's why this feels so necessary for a lot of that energy here, because this is the energy, and again, it become protective. This is the energy that, like, I want to say is articulating upon the energetic sacredness of that partnership. And this is why for the energy deep within divine union, it's kind of the opposite right now, because the energy in the space of the opposite, I just see the energy deep within divine union is working more in the context of ideals. Working more in the context of articulating upon something energetically new. And that always, like, I keep on getting language escapes us in moments that something energetically new is occurring, because there is no precedent for being able to articulate upon it. So I just keep seeing that for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, trying to find the words for that space of energetic lack. Like this is why like there feels like there's something so scorpionic that's coming through right now for the energy. But it's not even it feels more like Virgo energy, because it's like trying to, like it feels very precise, right? It feels like a lot of that energy trying to like land upon the best way to articulate something that is hard to put into words. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Wands in its reversal, our 10 of Cups in its upright, and our Knight of Wands in its reversal. Can I please get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our 5 of Wands in its reversal. So, this is like, I'm going to tell you right now, if it feels wacky, right? Like if it feels wacky right now, it's going to continue to feel so, because like, I got to tell you, like, full moons in Cancer are often very emotional. Full moons, moons placements, whenever we have Pisces coming in, it just starts feeling wacky, because it feels very, how do I describe this? It feels like there's a lot, right? But it's not just the fact that there's a lot. It also feels like there's a lot, and it's hard to be able to place. It's like it's a lot, but it's also hard to articulate. So I just keep seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, trying to navigate the articulation of a lot that's hard to articulate upon. I just keep seeing that there's a lot of this energy here that is, how do I explain this? Because it's so interesting. It's like, it feels like trying to be a lot of precision is what I'm seeing. Like a lot of that energy trying to work into a place of being precise, because it's and this has to do with the Pluto in the Pluto coming into Aquarius. It is experiencing something in a different way, but also being able to, I want to say, heal something that one hasn't been able to heal before in the process because of some of that adaptability. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of this, and this is why I keep seeing that this feels like it's warrior energy, because look, I want to just show you some of these cards right now so you can understand what I'm seeing, right? Like this has to do with a lot of that sense of completion, right? Like what is actually for us that is sometimes very hard. It's easy to want to like divest the self and say, oh good, things got easier, I must be going in the right direction. Bad news, guys. When you're moving in the right direction, things usually get more difficult, because you're recognizing and identifying that on that healing journey, you're being more energetically mindful, right? Like I keep on healing, like I keep on getting the message, don't get fooled by easy healing, right? Like don't be fooled by easy healing, because that ability of doing so has to do with like the sense that healing to a certain extent is being able to find your own strength. So everything that we see here having to do with some of this warrior energy, it is the amplification and articulation about finding one's own pathwork of integrity that often requires having to like do something that feels more difficult, because you know that you're headed in the right direction. As I know how counterintuitive that sounds to a certain extent. But again, if you get it, you get it, which is like, it's not that things get easier. It's that what we hold ourselves to, like, we see ourselves more clearly. So I see even now, like there's a lot of that energy facilitating and articulating upon those points right now. And as it relates to the partnerships, like these partnerships, like that sense or that space of doing so, like there's a massive amount of communication here. And for masculine energy, I just keep seeing that this is a moment that a lot of the authenticity of the honesty of the masculine is being able to come towards the counterpart, because everything I keep seeing right now for feminine is, and it's interesting too, because I got to express this. The last couple days of readings, I just got to point this out. Like not yesterday's reading, but Saturday's reading and today's reading, there haven't been a lot of feminine cards that have been coming out. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. Why are we not seeing a lot of the feminine cards right now? Because I keep on seeing that a lot of the feminine energy right now is in that space of, how do I explain this best? There's some like deep inner child healing that's happening right now on the part of the feminine energy. And a lot of that feminine energy right now, working in that space of deep healing, I just see that there's a lot of amplification and focus on the self right now, right? It's like I'm getting here. It's like a lot of the feminine energy right now is in hermit mode. Like that's effectively why we haven't been seeing a lot of the feminine energy out. And that's because like a lot of the feminine energy in hermit mode to a certain extent, I just see that that's a lot of the feminine energy that is prioritizing the care of the self right now in relationality to being able to navigate some of the emotionality of all of this, like all of this emotion, like a lot of this like emotional, like a lot of this emotionality that's coming through right now. That is the energetic breakthrough for the feminine. Like I'm telling you even now, that's why it feels to a certain extent like feminine, that feels that sense of like positivity on their own journey, because this is the feminine energy. And I need to stress this. This isn't the feminine energy that is moving in denial of the emotions. Why is the feminine energy quiet right now? Why are they in hermit mode? Because they're listening to what the emotions, I can hear the feminine energy going, shh. They're trying to listen to what their emotions are trying to say, right? They're like, right? Continuing to get clarification between these cards right now. Bear with me, hold on a moment. All right, between our Knight of Wands in its reversal and our Ace of Cups in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our Knight of Swords in its reversal. Now, so everything here, and I need to stress this because this is what I'm seeing right now. For a lot of the energy in separation, I keep on seeing this energy that's moving towards one another and saying, I don't feel brave at all. You know, I can almost see you guys having this reading right now with me and being like, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't feel brave at all. You are so off the mark right now. You are so off the mark. I'm not doing this from a place of bravery. Did you just say, I'm not doing this from a point of bravery? Right? Yeah. That's the fun thing about bravery, isn't it? Right? That's the energy of it. That's the energy that even when I say to you, you're being brave, you're probably getting upset at me. Probably being, be quiet. I don't want to be brave. I know you don't want to be brave. like that, there's like literally there's crabbiness. I see energy in separation that is grumbling to themselves. Like I literally see the energy like through gritted teeth going, I'm following my bliss. No, I don't want to talk about it. like there's a little bit of this energy here. Because why? Because this is the energy that is feeling all of that emotional soreness. Right? Like this is energy that feels like they've been going through a battering ram of the emotions over the last like over this last like full moon cycle, being like, why are the emotions calling back to something? Because that's where the emotions live. They live in the ocean. They live in the ocean of the self, right? The emotions live in us. That's what's so difficult. Okay, because we cannot, we can't and a lot of this work that we see, I can almost keep on hearing the energy in separation saying, you can't feel something for something that you haven't seen, right? I can hear the energy saying that to themselves as they're moving towards their manifestation goals. And that's why the energy right now is listening to what the emotions have to say. because this is the energy. Why is the energy in separation listening to what the emotions have to say? Because they're listening to that, but they're holding themselves fast. And what are they looking to from the emotions? Has something changed? Right? We don't listen to the emotions. We don't go towards the emotions. We ask the emotions, has something changed? And that, or is there something that I can change? And this is the energy. If that answer it resounds in no, this is the energy that goes, yeah, so that's just the emotions. That's not the intention of the manifestation goal, right? So this is a lot of that this is a lot of that energy that's feeling that space of holding space for their emotions. And they're moving forward beyond them, right? Holding that space, moving that into energetic wisdom as they continue towards their manifestation goals. While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, more of that same energy, like it just feels like a lot of that energy not in the business of proving to others the worthiness of their energetic connection, which is why I keep hearing this energy that's like in a rallying cry that says, I'm sorry you feel that way. Why is the energy coming into divine union saying, I'm sorry you feel that way? Because when they say that way, what they're recognizing is when someone expresses their feelings, but they're not able to explain why, what they're really saying is they're trying to point you in a direction that they want you to go into. Right? So when they say, I'm sorry you feel that way, what they're saying is they recognize that you're feeling emotions that you cannot articulate because inwardly you want me to go in a different energetic direction. So this is the energy that says, I'm sorry you feel that way, because what they're really saying is, I'm sorry that you feel that you're upset about the direction that you see us moving towards. We have different directions, right? Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, right? Like, it's about like the energy being like, we know our directions, right? And that is a lot of the energy that is continuing deeper into divine union. While for a lot of this energy right now, deep within divine union, this is a lot of the energy that feels that sense of adaptability, because this is the energy that feels the, I want to say, this is some of this Aquarius energy that is showing up to like the party. Like this is a lot of this Aquarius energy that says where there's a will, there's a way, because that is what we say when we're building into the place of ideals, right? We don't get focused on how we desire something to be. We look at the possibilities of what is around us, navigating some of the detritus of the emotions that come up in the wake of some of that big wave energy of the Cancer full moon. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Cups in combination with our Five of Wands and its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification. Woohoo! There it is. Big wave energy of Eight of Wands, right? Working in that space, I just keep seeing a lot of the energy. This is why a lot of the energy deep within divine union, I keep on hearing a lot of that energy deep within divine union saying no hard feelings. Why is the energy deep within divine union saying no hard feelings? Because this is the energy that says no hard feelings, because this is the energy that says when we hold something too hard, it doesn't allow us to move forward, right? Like a lot of that energy that is working in that sense or space of saying to themselves, no hard feelings, because this is the energy that says to themselves that when we're moving with pathwork of purpose, we start looking at feeling like too much energetic sympathy for ourselves is not very productive. Again, it's just like, it's like feelings don't fix anything. Like that's the thing right now that's happening with all of this water energy in the middle of Aquarius, because Capricorn and Aquarius don't look at the water energy and they go, feelings don't fix things, right? Feelings don't fix things. Fixing things fixes things, and that's why there may be a lot of volatility that may be happening right now around unhealed karmic connections. Because if someone is bringing emotions up, but not in a productive way right now, the ability to see that it's coming more from the place of the ego, right, in relationality to being able to recognize what feels like it's productive versus what feels like it's not. There's a lot of this work right now, and that's happening across all of the frequencies, right? Because that moment or that space of remembering that emotions are only gifts if we listen to them and we do the internal algebra on what they're asking for. And this is how we love one another. We don't just say to another, I have feelings and these are your fault. You take them off my hands, right? That is disassociating. That is divestment of emotions. When we're doing that heavy work, we listen to what the emotions are asking, and then we present them forward as energetic progress to one another. So I see even now, like there's a lot of that energy that may be navigating, like working through this right now. I just keep on hearing that's not very productive, right? But that's not the energy that says that in a cold way. That is the energy that says that the gift that we give each other in doing the work of the self is that what we bring forth to each other, we do from a place of understanding what feels like it's energetically productive versus what feels like it is something that is energetically hindering, right? So there's a lot of that mindfulness that I see that is occurring right now for a lot of the energy deep in that space across all of the frequencies. Continuing to get clarification between our Five of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Knight of Swords in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification with this, like, Six of Swords in its reversal, right? Like, that's why I keep seeing, Nothing disempowers us more than feeling that we are worthy of navigating from a place of others holding energetic sympathy towards us. Right? I see that there's something about this here. Like this is what, and I gotta stress this right now because this is really impactful for what I'm seeing, especially for the energy and separation. Right? Because I just keep seeing that there's something about the energy and separation right now with this combination of the Eight of Wands. And this is why it may be hitting differently. I'm going to tell you right now, there may be, like I see some path work here, right? Some path work that is energetically productive in relationality to moving in the directionality. And I got to express this here because some of this energy, and this is why so much of this, like this Aquarius energy, it requires that ability to understand that this may be hitting in different ways, depending on, like, there's only so far we can go, and I'm giving a collective reading. Remember what I said in relationality to listening to the emotions, to hear what the emotions are trying to say, right? And that space or place of understanding what the guidance point between the higher self and the energetic ego is. Those moments that say, on this is we can agree. Regardless of the direction that an individual is moving right now in separation on that journey, it is the recognition point of understanding that they're letting go of the energetic outcome on the way of following those coordinates, right? That's why I keep seeing it has nothing to do with my feelings, because this is the energy that listens to their feelings. And even in those moments, it's like, I don't know what's going to come about from that. Like, this is the energy going, I can't see what the energetic horizon point is. But this is why this work for a lot of the energy right now, I told you, this is why it almost feels like shadow work to a certain extent, because this is the energy that understands that when we move, when we follow our intention, we let go of outcome, right? We let go of what we aspire and we just follow where our heart guides us, remembering that our heart is not just about where the emotions live, because the emotions are like these, emotions are often deeply connected to past experiences. Our heart guides us in that space of saying that, holding space for how we feel and also guiding ourselves in terms of what we energetically deserve. So that's why I see that for so much of this energy, it is warrior energy for the energy and separation, because I just keep seeing a lot of that energy is honoring how they feel, but continuing to move in the direction of what they feel they energetically deserve, right? And that's why sometimes it can feel very bittersweet when we're holding emotions for spaces or places where we may feel a lot of emotions, but we say, I didn't deserve that, right? Like that's the energy that goes, I didn't deserve that, because that is the energy that says that's not what I hope to find there. That's something that I received instead, right? And so this is the energy that hopes in that space, and the way they're able to honor their emotions, taking that and allowing that to motivate them forward, is not saying I miss that, saying I didn't deserve that, right? That's the energy that feels the amplification and is able to discern the difference between missing something and not deserving something, right? And that's a heavy, I told you, that's a heavy energy, what we aspired to receive from something versus what we actually received. While for masculine and feminine energy right now coming into divine union, and when we say, I did not deserve that, we become energetically worthy of what we know is for us. While for masculine and feminine energy that is coming into divine union, this is the energy that works in that space of, again, not, and this is what's interesting, it's not in a place of deserving here, right? For the energy right now coming into divine union, like a lot of that work that we see that is happening, this is the energy that sees themselves from those places or spaces wherein they may not have recognized themselves. I just keep seeing a lot of this energy coming into divine union, working through a lot of energetic regret. Why? It's not so much because, like, seeing something outside of partnership that they energetically remember. And this is why I keep seeing that so much of that energy bears the weight of wisdom, because when you see something in a way that another person sees it, doesn't see it, you recognize that some things you just need to let, like, time, like sometimes time's just gotta, like, time will fix that. Hopefully, like that moment of being like, time, can you work on this? Like, because those spaces, like, this is the energy that, like, works in that context of seeing something in such a way. And that's why when they say, I'm sorry you see it that way, this is also why the energy says, I'm sorry you see it that way. I'm sorry that your perception is such that you feel like that is the direction, because we're going in a different one, right? Like, this is the energy that says, I honor that journey. And this is the energy that learns compassion as they continue to move into that space of wisdom. While for masculine and feminine energy that is deep within divine union, you know, you can't navigate what is around you, but you can navigate what is within you. That ability of being able to build in the context of the self, I just keep on seeing that is the energy that says, you know, and this is why it feels like warrior energy, which is like, you know, when we have moments or circumstances that we navigate that it feel interesting, right? When we navigate those spaces of building into the place of interesting or working through interest or peculiarities, it's hard because it feels like everything gets energetically more difficult. But this is the energy that says that building into that context, navigating those spaces of energetic uncertainty, like if there are moments here that things aren't the way that we expected them to be, I just keep on seeing that that's a lot of that energy that works in that context or that space of saying to themselves that the gift that we give one another is being able to be that source of light for one another. So I just keep seeing that for a lot of the energy right now working in that space, if the situation isn't ideal, what do we say to one another? I guess we have our work cut out for us. Continue, and that's what I feel like a lot of this energy is doing here, trying to not navigate the overwhelm, but being very energetically productive in the process. So a lot of that Aquarian energy. Final card for today's spread between our 8 of Wands in its upright in combination with our 7 of Swords in its upright. May I please have one card to clarify? clarification coming through right now with our Hanged Man in its reversal. So this is a lot of the Aquarius season that's coming through right now, especially in the realm of relationships, because everything that we're seeing right now that's occurring here, it's about, like, let's talk a little bit about Aquarian energy. Like, they're the inventors. Like, the Aquarians are they're, and I need to point this out. Like, what's so interesting and beautiful about, why do we call Aquarians the water bearers, right? This is important. What is amazing about water? I mean, air. What is amazing about air? You cannot see it, right? But where does water go? Where does water go, right? Air can hold water, right? Okay? Air can hold water. This is why the Aquarian is the water bearer. That's why we see the air sign that is often associated with water, right? Because it is the air sign that is able to take the emotions and alchemize them into concepts, alchemize them into something different, right? When we're able to take the emotions and not get overwhelmed by them, but we allow them to lift, right? We can take those emotions and bring them into a space of, again, new concepts, new ideas, new understanding. So the Aquarian energy always, again, often has that moment that says, I don't have time for feelings. But instead, it's not that moment of pushing off the feelings. It's taking the feelings and doing something productive with them, right? Like being inventive, right? Like letting it kind of come into that space, right? It's like the emotions. And this is why sometimes those who know, knocking my mic over, those who know Aquarius, and they get, the demarcation of being too analytical. But it's not the fact that Aquarians don't have emotions. They're just trying to do something productive with them, right? Like the emotions don't do anything. So a lot of this work that we're seeing is like a lot of this like entering now. And I think it's really interesting because remember how I said that like a lot of this like Mars retrograde was bringing out a lot of that feeling in others in terms of acting like Aries. I feel like now a little bit of that solution and not being able to find courage is now being like handed off to Aquarian energy, which is like, okay, if I can't find courage, I'll just have to make it myself, right? Like there's a lot of this energy. I told you this is a lot of this, like, I'll just have to make it myself. Welcome to Aquarian season, which is, again, if you don't have store-bought courage, like homemade is fine. It's kind of a lot like that right now. And that's why we see that for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, being able to find the words to navigate what one is energetically feeling that feels different. Again, Pluto coming into Aquarius, right? New words, like a lot of that, like finding like a new way to articulate, like new energetic normals or new norms, as it were, like trying to navigate in this space. It feels it's hard to like put one's fingers on, right? Because it's the water that becomes air. For masculine and feminine energy, I see both of these energies navigating this space. Masculine, much more, I want to say, practical. Feminine, I have literally not seen a feminine card in over 2 days in these readings, which just says to me there's a lot of the feminine energy right now that's just very much in hermit mode. That would be or like just like kind of working in that space of like amplification or like actively listening, either listening to the higher self or listening to the emotions. And that in itself is a breakthrough, because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're like navigating all of this watery energy and you're just actively listening to yourself in the process, congratulations. Okay, congratulations. Like, talk about trusting the process. Bravo to the feminines. Well, for masculine energy right now, again, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. This is more of the masculine that feels more, I want to say, more practical right now, getting very like, I feel like I see a lot of masculine energy, finding ways to channel emotions into productivity right now. And that's happening across all the frequencies. But what's beautiful again for the energy coming into separate, like the energy that is coming into divine union, this feeling, I feel like even now, the feeling of a lack of care on how others perceive the partnership, that in itself is their breakthrough. That is the energy that says when we hold something energetically precious, it doesn't matter what other people think about it. Like that in itself is a profound breakthrough that's giving a lot of clarity as they proceed forward, right? While for a lot of this energy and separation right now, I just keep seeing that for a lot of this energy and separation, navigating and facilitating upon that path work, it's heavy. It's hard. I feel like a lot of this energy and separation, like feeling frustration. For masculine, it may be feeling frustration at the self and not being hard on the self. I'm going to say it again. Masculine energy, if you're looking back on things and you've got notes, consider that a gift, right? Because the ability to see something that you would do differently, well, congratulations, you're in the present. Congratulations, you're in the present where all things are possible. So don't let yourself hold that in a space of wanting to let go of that, but embracing that and letting that be the energetic force of change, right? While for feminine, learning to energetically trust that process. This is the energy that says, again, I'm not going to allow, like this is a lot of the energy that is healing in relationality to looking at situations and saying, I may feel a lot of feelings towards something, but sometimes we feel a lot of feelings towards something because we look back on something and say, that wasn't right. Sometimes this is why when we proceed on our healing journey, things feel more difficult because we feel the emotions like activating in ways, and it's like you have to find space to navigate that and honoring that. I see both of these energies right now having these profound breakthroughs. But again, what's so difficult about it is not allowing the emotions to call you back to spaces that you've been healing from, right? That's hard work. So honoring your journey as you do so. And again, that's why I keep on feeling like Scorpio keeps on trying to come into these readings, because Scorpio keeps on saying, and there's something about the fact, and that's why, because Pluto is in Aquarius. That's why when these emotions come up, it's not just the energy feeling the emotions and running towards them. This is like Scorpio that keeps on nudging in every time someone starts feeling the feelings and being like, it's like Scorpio's like, can I get in here? Sorry, yeah. Has anything changed? Like Scorpio keeps being that like friend. The friend is like, excuse me. No, hold on a minute, emotions. Has anything changed? Bottom of the deck on this reading right now. Yeah, there's a sun card in its reversal. That's why everybody is super grumpy right now. Everybody, listen, it's that Cancer full moon. Everybody's crabby. Everybody's in their feels. Nobody wants to do anything. I know. Listen, these Cancer full moons, man, they make everybody super, super crabby. They make everybody's in their feels. Everyone feels like the slightest touch. Woo, be compassionate. Be compassionate if others are coming towards you in that crabbiness. Be compassionate that everybody is doing their best to navigate a lot of that. Like Pluto, like this Pluto in Aquarius is like, I don't know how to feel about this. We build into that sense. This is like, we find our own sense, like, and I need to stress this, the light we have within is the gift that we give to those around us. And so if you need that support, make sure that you're articulating it right now. It's not your responsibility. I keep on getting, it's not your responsibility to feel like you have to pull yourself up from your own bootstraps. It's your responsibility to articulate upon your energetic needs, right? So allowing for those spaces of making sure that you're not just navigating in that space. If you're feeling any of that like ominous sense of impending like anxiety, I also just want to remind you that we're still going through that Mars retrograde. And so a lot of that feeling, like that uncertainty, Aries feel like this all the time, which is why it's a little bit easier for Aries right now. Like they've just been having their whole life to deal with that. But like that sense, like make sure that you're articulating through it, not reacting to it, right? Because courage and confidence, I know I keep saying this, but it's important right now. Remember, courage and confidence look a lot alike, but they're not the same thing, right? Confidence is not courage. Courage is not confidence. They're cousins. They live next door to each other. They look a lot alike. But again, courage is what we do when confidence is not around, right? So recognizing that and finding that energetic courage, let that be. Like when you're feeling any of this disorientation right now, like let that intention and let that energetic courage drive you forward. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my site. The link is in my bio. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you would like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So I would encourage you to do it there. Also, a couple of updates before we move into personal readings for the day. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our most recent class on the Hermit card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, February 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Wheel of Fortune. I am so excited to teach this class. It might be 2 classes. There's a lot to go over. It's a fascinating, compelling card. And all you need to do if you would like to become a part of that class program is become a paid subscriber to my sub. Your paid subscription to my sub will be your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also gain access to the Tarot Church Library and will have access to over 9 hours worth of material that is available to you as a monthly subscriber. You will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything that we've learned thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also receive a compliment. You will also have access to the full Tarot Church Library, and you will also have access to a one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will assess with you personally where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes towards meeting your own personal tarot goals. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. So I want to thank you so much if you're already joining us there, and I look forward to potentially seeing you at our next class. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my sub, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings and services. I post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. Finally, I want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my clients that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students as I do so, as these classes are focused around your personal growth or spiritual practice goals. These classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my clients that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. Finally, I want to let you guys know that I'm now offering dream interpretation reading packages as well. You can purchase these on an individual level per dream basis, or if you'd like to work with me weekly on studying your dreams, I just ask that you keep a dream journal. We meet weekly or bi-weekly to to assess that journal and to utilize the tarot to understand the deeper connections to the symbiology and lessons via those dreams. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. And we will do this again tomorrow.